Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Hayes and this is my project for 2019. This is CYC, Choose Your Chaos. But I'm gonna stick with the acronym because it rolls off the tongue nicer and Choose Your Chaos, it's a little bit fancy So, anyway, I want to start a channel from this perspective for a few reasons. But mainly is to refine my ideas and to improve my public speaking, essentially. This is for, I'm studying psychology, this is for clinical use with just a client, or even in a workshop setting where I have a bit more of a crowd. And public speaking isn't quite my strong point. Also, I've noticed lately that there's a lot of strong leaders and authority sort of figures kind of getting a bit of push. I'm only joking, that's not it. But it is kind of a concept that I do want to discuss in a later video, where people are looking for strength or structure or order and how to maybe measure that out so you don't go too far in that direction. So for me, this is going to be going out to my friends first, but in case anyone didn't know, my focus, my study, I'm doing psychology, my study or my focus within that is around resilience and the ability to adapt and thrive in changing circumstances. That's what fascinates me, that's what gets me interested. So that's the perspective I'll be coming from. This has naturally led me to be interested in motivational speech and other forms of thought leadership. This can include religion, but I might address that in a later video, but I'm gonna kind of just thought leadership in general. What leads people to it and what they get from it. In my research of it and even just consuming it directly and reading around it, there's three assumptions that I want to kind of navigate around. I would like a conversation without them, essentially. They're going to sound kind of harsh, two of them are going to sound kind of harsh, but give it a second, I'll explain why. So, number one, that your life has value, intrinsic value. Number two, that just the language around auras and vibrations and having a relationship with the universe. And then number three is that you owe it to yourself, or you owe it to a parent or to a teacher or to whoever. Let's explain the first one because let's agree, the first one's kind of harsh. That your life has value. It does. But I want to take it out of the equation because you have to actualize those pretty thoughts. You have to make it real, make it physical, bring it into this world. There are laws that protect all life, but I think most of us can agree that not all lives are equal. My life isn't worth as much as Elon Musk's. And I want to make this personal, I want to try and make it on me so that you don't take it personally, because I don't want you to. I want this to be just a, try and have an objective talk about it. I think we can all agree he's pretty, he does a lot. So both financially and on on a cosmic sort of level or whatever, his life is probably worth more than mine. Even if you can't agree on that, maybe you can agree on the fact that one of the most upsetting things about a life passing, especially if it's someone too young, or especially if it's someone that just didn't get the chance to start moving yet, and that can be at 30 or 40. I think we can all agree that that loss of potential, that when they didn't get to actualize what they should have, that is one of the saddest things, as if death isn't sad enough. I don't mean to get that too heavy, sorry. I want to try and take that out of the equation so there is a certain amount of pressure on you to realize what you want, as in actualize what you want to be and who you could be. So I'm not saying you have to prove it, I'm not saying you have to display it, I'm not saying this has to go on this has to be, it's not about other people's perspectives. It's just about your potential and what you could be, essentially. Point number two is so much easier to explain. It's just that I don't want to talk about vibrations or auras or a relationship with the universe. This can be good for some people because, to use the language for 2 minutes, never touch it again, if you put happy vibrations into the world, people are more likely to be happy towards you, you're more likely to get a good response. This is scientifically true. This is, if you smile at someone, they are almost preconditioned to smile back at you, and if someone else smiles, they will be happier. The link is so strong between being happy and smiling that even if you cause the smile first, it will influence the happiness, even though it's usually the reverse. Even though you're happy and then you smile. If you can make someone smile, even if it's false, it's actually harder to be unhappy. Like, that's a cool thing, and a lot of people kind of now understand that because of that language. But it can be pushed too much, essentially, and I want to avoid that. I don't want to say, like, what everything you put out into the universe is given back. I do want to have it more focused, and this might lose some people because scientific language just isn't as, it doesn't sound as nice in your ear sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's not quite as easy to grasp because there's certain terminology or something in it. So, like, there are issues with it, but it's just, that's the angle I'm coming from. And then point number 3 is that you owe it to yourself, or you owe it to your parents, or you owe it to a teacher. I want to take this out because you just don't. You're not an investment that needs to pay out dividends. No one, when they were teaching you, if there's any parents watching this, you'll know this. If you're like trying to teach your kid, you're just trying to get them to be a good person. You're trying to get them to like stand on their feet and be good. You're not expecting a monetary or any kind of value from it. You're doing it just because it's in you, because you want to. So from the kid's perspective, it's just like, you don't owe them anything. You don't owe it to yourself either, because if you want to sit around and do nothing, or if you want to just, that's quite hedonic, but like if you want to do the same day over again, if you have like just a job and you have watch your match on Sundays, and it's routine and you're comfortable in it, and you're happy with that, you've built a life and you're happy living it, I'm happy for you. Like, that's cool. No one's going to push you to be more. No one like is demanding that of you, and no one's going to. The only person that can demand it is yourself, and that's what this project is kind of for. This is about, it's about what I like to call as the itch, and it's essentially when you can't settle where you are. You feel like you need more. Motivation isn't necessary. Like, it's not a requirement to have this conversation. Neither is like being super productive. It's just this itch that you have, that you're just not happy where you are. And what I'm hoping to like have a conversation about here is finding out kind of what in your current, what you're running away from and what you want to run towards, essentially. That's what this is about. That's why it's called Choose Your Chaos. That's the premise around, is trying to choose you're in a safe place. Like, let's bring a bit of messiness to it. Let's go to a new country. Let's do something just a little bit less safe. That's what this is around. Because if you do have that itch, if you do have this, like, it's a fuel, man. If you have this, like, it can make an amazing life. It can really push you, and you can be a learner for life. You can be that like 60-year-old that still has life in them, that still is just like, yeah, I'm doing whatever you're doing, which is like, man, if you've ever seen that, it's amazing. But if you don't tend to it, it can be destructive. It can be what leads you to like adultery, or it can be what leads you to a burnout or a midlife crisis, or just straight out depression. Because, yeah, and we want to try and avoid that. We want to try and address it and make that beautiful life and be that 60-year-old that has life. And I think that's just a conversation worth having. So that's what this is for. That's what I hope you can get from it. What I get from it, hopefully, is like less stress about like talking publicly. Maybe, hopefully. But, so that's the relationship I'm going for. Let's see if it happens.